Hey guys, Sorka, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney 2. Let's carry on where we left off. We're about to show the English how the Japanese put on a real defense for our client, namely by pressing our witnesses and finding contradictions, although I just realized now, actually, that we've gotten a guilty verdict for Mr. Natsume, so perhaps we're all about redeeming how the Japanese defend our clients, given that we had to pull off another summation examination to save his skin. But I think we're back on track now. All we have to do is prove that Mr. William Shamspeare is, in fact, a sham. We need to undermine his credibility. It all starts with the fact that he's been siphoning gas off the Altamont Gas Company. I believe he's using molds of coins using the soap that we found in his windowsill. Although, we're not entirely sure. I'm fairly confident in my answer. We just need to expose it to these two lovely people on the stand. Starting with Mr. Meterman here. I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Hold it! Are you, though? Are you really? I need to find a contradiction here. So does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do. Have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business. Okay, well, what if they don't let you in, though? I guess you just stare through the bricked-up window, huh? Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shamspeare? Well, now, interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived the winter is beyond me, it really is. No, Mr. Natsume probably spends all his gas money on books. And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth. Surely, Mr. Natsume's above that. He's a literary fanatic. I'm positive that he wouldn't desecrate such reading material. You will kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman. Not much to say, really, but as you wish. Well, that was fast. We already got a reiterated testimony. Altamont gas meters accept through penny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. Gorgeous gas, you say? Funny, because, you know, it's hard to see gas. To be honest, it must be really sexy. Hold it! About this gorgeous gas. So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they?
They're the latest model, the height of technology, developed by our company, Altamont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes.
So if a 3p coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night? A bit more than that, usually. If they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Soseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he?
Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Ah, yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually.
Yeah, that sorry state of a den he lives in, my goodness. And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins.
I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues. For the most part, glares daggers at Mr. Shamspeare.
Because they have to pay in advance, you mean?
Yes, exactly right.
Huh.
And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it.
Really now? So no traces of soap at all? Did it melt or something? Or am I just way off base? Hold it! Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks! He's been pitching gas off of us for ages! And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room, I take it?
Naturally. We took off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume?
No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock. The Shamspeare Special.
Wow, okay, well he's got a new security device named after him. He must be very proud. That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3p pieces.
But even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty.
I'll never forget the humiliation. When I opened up the money box and found a bear... You what, I said? You what? You motherfucker! How dare you! But, like, this is such an obvious scam. Like, how is he getting away with this? Surely he could just be like, there's no coins, and the gas has obviously been used. And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his! I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jimmied open anywhere, not a single sign. And what's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what. A life-threatening situation. In a number of ways. I can't stop sweating. Does someone put on the gas in here? Please, turn it off. Thank you. Incidentally, what became of that meter? Nothing became of that. I've still got it. In my pocket even. I'll present it as evidence. Oh. Right here. No wonder they call you Meter Man. I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. There we go. I knew I had to press everything, because it wouldn't be easy to just present the soap. A meter that dispenses gas for a set time after a coin is inserted. It sports a very strong lock, developed especially with Mr. Shakespeare in mind. Dedicated to him. Definitely. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. I'm gonna have to go over it myself with a fine-tooth comb, and then some. Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter. Oof. Oh, well, it's gonna be very valuable indeed.
The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Hold it!
There's only one key for all your meters?
Well, in truth, there's another key in the company vault at our main office. But even if someone had somehow managed to get a hold of a key, we'd know if the coin box had been opened.
Oh? How?
I came up with a rather clever way to expose any little shenanigans as it happens.
Would you care to explain? Well, now, in order to empty a meter, you have to unlock the padlock and remove the cover. But when I close the cover again, I stick a little beeswax seal on it, you see? A seal? Like the sort of thing you'd put on an envelope, you mean? Something like that, yes. Basically, you can't remove the cover again without breaking the seal.
Now, in the case of Mr. Shamspear's meter, there were no coins inside at all, as I said.
But the seal hadn't been broken either. So that would mean Mr. Shamspear somehow managed to steal coins from inside the meter without opening it. Okay, so maybe he wasn't making coins exactly, but he was replicating the seal.
It would seem so, but that would be impossible.
Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. That's not thieving, what is? Okay, well, that spinning umbrella is distracting me. In the meantime, let's investigate this gas meter. Why not? So there's the padlock itself. That's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it?
And the money box is sealed with beeswax, too.
So if Mr. Shums were to get up to any mischief, he'd be found out immediately.
Mr. Naruhodo, mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Sholmes would...
You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you?
Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs.
But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? I wouldn't think so. They're meant to put money in it. Of course you're supposed to lock it, right? It's like if you didn't lock the vending machine up, people could just put coins in, grab their snack, and then retrieve their coins again, no? Of course, I don't think vending machines were prevalent in this particular time period. Is that it? We can only examine the padlock. Oh, there we go. We've got something here. Oh, what's...
Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Just here, there's a little hole. Do you see?
Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed.
It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say.
So, you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspear?
Possibly. Seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it. I thought they went over it with a fine-tooth comb. They must have been sniffing the gas.
Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through to the inside.
Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through here.
That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious.
Details of the gas meter have been updated. The attached coin box sports a very strong lock. There's a tiny hole in its base. Okay, what does it mean? What does it mean? So he's probably melting something, popping it through the hole. Alright, well, I don't know what exactly to present as of yet, but we'll find out. Let's press this final statement while I consider my options. How do you know that he's been using gas, though? Well, now, since I started investigating this bloke, I've been to his room more than a few times. And on every single occasion, his lamps have been blazing and his stove pounding. It's the middle of Minton, and he still turns to me, sweat dripping down his cheeks, and says,
"Get thee to a nunnery."
Hamlet, indeed. Ah, I could wring the bloke's neck. Now I'm wringing my own and get all hot under the collar, but still, every time I open up that flaming meter, it's empty. He's robbing me of my salary, too. What's wrong with the world? What is the justice? Oh, God, the way his head just bounces like a bill. My goodness. But how can Mr. Shamspeare possibly be stealing the money? I don't understand. The simple explanation is right before your eyes.
What?
A toast to you eventually realizing that the gas man could be an accomplice. You what? Good lord, eminently plausible indeed. Oh, so he's allowed to throw out conjecture, but when I do it, I need to have evidence.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself?
Oh god, she's literally prodding him for information. Oh please, Lady Quinby, I'm a faithful worker. And besides, if the money us gasmen collect doesn't tally with how much gas has been used, you don't gotta pay by the same amount. So you'd be stealing money only to have the same amount taken from your wages. Clearly that makes no sense.
Perhaps it's a case of losing the battle to win the war?
What? No, I'm not gonna stir up that hornet's nest. If I went stealing from the company, I'd be finished. It would seem there is no evidence to support the claims of thievery made against the victim. Because Mr. William Shamspeare is innocent. Okay, now things are heating up. Pray forgive me if that shatters some illusion my learned Nipponese friend was clearly under. Alright, that's it. That's all I have to say. I certainly didn't expect to uncover another crime that looks like it's been taking place in the very same room. Though it's obviously less vicious.
According to the testimony, it's only the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room that's under suspicion. It does seem as though perhaps it has nothing to do with the incident involving Mr. Natsume.
I know, it does seem that way, but the fact is, since I've been practicing law in England, I feel like I've encountered this at least once already. Cases that are interlinked.
Hey.
It might seem that the two cases have nothing to do with one another at first, but in fact, they're intimately connected. Well, it goes without saying, right? If you're gonna commit a crime, just do one at a time. Otherwise, something's gonna happen, and you're gonna get caught.
Yes, we have experienced that before, haven't we? I wonder if this is another instance.
Perhaps, but we can't be sure of that yet. If the Altamont Gas Company has been investigating Mr. Shamspeare so earnestly, there must be something to it. But then how has he been managing to steal their gas? Alright, now we just gotta figure out which one we need to present the statement to. Meter didn't have a single coin in it. Okay, here we go. This is a simple one. Meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with. I can certainly disprove that.
Objection!
Here we go. Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with.
What?
Get away! I've been over and over that thing. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Hole? What? What? Who's sticking things in holes? Huh?
You're right. You're quite right. There's a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do.
In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamspeare secretly opened up this hole himself.
Yes, I wouldn't at all be surprised. But why?
Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farther thing through that. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design.
What sort of details?
Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it differentiates coins. Let's start with that. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins?
What do you mean? All coins are the same size and same value. When you're rich like me, that's how it is, isn't it?
Well, for example, if someone were to put in a 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work, presumably, would it?
No, of course not.
Well, how does the meter know that the coin it's been fed is a 3 penny bit?
Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A 3 penny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see, and the coins just won't fit.
I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. Your meter and the crime itself. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent.
As you wish, my lord.
Oh, okay, so we're still in testimony, cross-examination territory here.
The meter is designed for coins the exact diameter and thickness of a 3 penny bit. Nothing else will fit.
Okay, now it's time for us to consider the fact that it could be the soap. I don't know. It's not obvious right now. Let's press her again on this. But conversely then, it would seem that anything matching a 3-pence coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally well be used. Would that be true?
Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well.
I thought of that though, anyway. If I find any fake coins inside the coin box when I empty the meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they diddled as a fine. We live for moments like that, us gas men do. Live for them, ha ha! So, they deduct your wages when you're missing coins. Do they pay you more when there's extra? It would seem the gas company has thought of everything. Wahoo! Hurrah for gas! Hurrah for cash! Ultimate all the way!
That's quite enough of that.
Remind me, how big are 3 penny bits?
About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is this 2 centimeters measurement significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on?
Yes, you may be right. Perhaps we should try a different tack here. Like asking about whether the meter can be dismantled, for example. I mean, yeah, why not? Let's keep our options open. How can the meter be dismantled?
Dismantled?
Yes, given that there are no signs of it having been forced. I'm wondering if perhaps, rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart.
Well, yes, that does make some sense. The padlocks are made by a first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel. And the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again.
Right, so this thing's, iron tight.
I can assure you it's quite impossible to dismantle it.
Of course it is. That's why he has to poke a hole in it, so he can melt down the soap coin and get it back. That's what the hole's for. That's why you can't find any coins when he opens the box. Wahoo! Yeah, nothing leaks from an Altamont meter. No coins, no gas, no nothing. I see. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. Oh, I don't have a choice? Okay.
As you wish, my lord. All joints of the meter are welded shut and the lock is made from solid steel. There's no way to dismantle it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's press her on this, and then we'll need to circle right back around to the fact that it can't differentiate it can differentiate coins, but it goes by measurement. Has anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they've tried. They've all given up before long.
After all, if they actually break the meter, the company would be able to take legal action.
Yes, that makes sense.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is its welded steel construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on?
You may be right. Different tack. Alright, let's go back. Okay, let's refresh ourselves on this. Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on this side, about 2 centimeters across.
Or 3/4 of an inch. Ah, do you think?
We did find the soap at the scene, didn't we?
Yes. Yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window. So we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly.
Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? Well, glad I refreshed the bar of soap, because now we've got a very pertinent, to quote the judge, description. There's a 2-centimeter diameter circular depression in the middle of one surface. Perfect. Alright, let's wrap this up.
Objection!
Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly.
Something the same size as a threepenny bit. What was it?
The item in question is this. What? Have you been inhaling gas? It's a bar of soap. What the fuck? It doesn't fit in there. It doesn't look like a coin. It's a rectangular object.
It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say.
It looks like I'm going to have to point out exactly what I mean here, because this is where I'd normally lose a life if I presented the wrong evidence. Or, sorry, I'd incur a penalty, which is still on the line, by the way. What's so important about the soap is this part here. I can't believe I have to point it out, given that we specifically examined it just to update the description.
Got it!
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. God, guys, come on. Do you go over anything? How did you miss the hole in the gas meter? Now you're missing a giant hole in the soap.
Ah. Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there?
That's right. A depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit. Or is it thrupenny? I don't know. These words, they're beyond my vocabulary. I'm a 90s kid. Get away! Does anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. The tithe platter's coming around.
It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it?
Well, surely someone's got a coin. Is it Van Zeek's? Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit. I take it you all are very dirt poor. Everyone else in the court. Now to see if it fits. We don't need a lab for this one. My word, it couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded.
Well, I don't believe it.
It's a pleasant disbelief, I'm presuming. So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? What next? He made his own poison as well, using the bar of soap? What the hell is the relevance to this? Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit. I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you can use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You can make fake coins in no time. Yeah. And where do you end? Fake coins, fake keys to open the door to your room. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspeare has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. For some godforsaken reason.
But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter.
Quite true, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. Fire is black magic now? Uh-oh. Even Van Zeeks knows how it's done. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There is one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes. Exactly. And the meter here gives it away.
What on earth?
There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. If that is your assertion, counsel, the defense will identify these remnants for the court at once. Well, there's only two things that I could even examine in the first place. The lock itself and my answer. Where on the meter can the remnants of the method used to make the fake coins disappear be seen? Right here. Your Excellency.
Got it!
We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime just outside the victim's window. Outside? Wait, that's where I was standing. What? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meanerman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. You weirdo. That's where we found the soap. I get it. That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamspeare has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Okay, well, I was on the right track. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth and spades. That's why it's outside, of course. Should have realized that. I mean, I also thought it could just be to solidify the mold faster. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. God, that face. Well, I've solved a crime. Does that get my client off the hook?
Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water.
That's right, madam. Your words, not mine, about how you called yourself an idiot there. That's your prerogative.
I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless?
Why are you getting angry at me? I've solved your dilemma. I'm fairly sure I didn't design it.
Evidence!
Sorry?
I want evidence. If you're going to stand there and tell me meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she?
I mean, God, you brought Susato to tears. I can't forgive this. Fine. You know what? Your meters are shit. I mean, if Shamspeare could devise a way to defraud it, and your own inspector couldn't uncover the reason why you were being defrauded, I mean, shit. You were asking for this to happen. Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it.
What?
Yeah, even Mr. Meaterman's face, I could just see it in the corner of my eye.
Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you two actually have evidence to support this theory?
And thus, this was the first instance of bluffing in the courtroom. I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. A piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamspeare has been stealing gas is... Yeah. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me go over what we've got. Okay, there we go. It's the photograph. There's a puddle of water right underneath, well, the meter box.
Take that!
There you go. Your shitty meter. In spades. This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspeare. What remnants? Come on, Mr. Van Zeeks, even you can see this. Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. Thank God I don't have to point it out this time.
What? What is that? Some kind of grubby stain?
Almost certainly. It's a water stain. Or a puddle, as some people call it, resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter.
Ah!
If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, you can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. Or a puddle.
This is awful.
And there's further evidence, too. Yes. Oh my God, Ryunosuke, quit while we're ahead. Mr. Shamspeare slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine, which we've learned how to pronounce, thank you, Google. And right there next to him, now I need to search how to pronounce threepenny, or threepenny, there's a bar of soap broken in half.
you're right.
It would appear to me, then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Oh, God. Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but... certainly not, you buffoon.
He didn't beat around the bush there, did he?
In truth, Mr. Shamspeare was found with a fork in his hand. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, my lord. Do you mean to say he was using that fork to... Yes. To extract the frozen coin from the bar of soap.
Ah, but the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious. Yeah, he didn't want his soap cold to eat. Uh-oh. There goes the whole bottle. Lord Van Zeeks, you're making now like a grape juice stain on the floor? I was throwing my hand up in despair and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray, forgive my maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this, Counsel? I can already tell what his rebuttal's gonna be. What the hell does this have to do with the poisoning of Mr. Shakespeare? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? There's always a time in the trial where you present something, you work hard to present something, and then the prosecutor's just like, so what? This doesn't change anything. And I knew it was coming. Well, I've proven Mr. Shakespeare is a downright dickhead, and he can't be trusted.
That Mr. William Shakespeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. That was my goal this entire time, Lord Van Zeeks. Not Mr. Van Zeeks. I can't believe I called him Mr. Van Zeeks before. How shameless of me. Very well. Let us assume the man is a liar. Now allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? Well, he fingered my client as the culprit, and he's obviously can't be trusted. We know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Well, furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. I can't believe he just undid all my hard work over the past half an hour in like 5 bullet points. You son of a bitch, Lord Van Zeeks. I mean, well, the only thing I'm clinging on to is the fact that Mr. Meataman is basing his testimony on the fact that he saw Romeo and Juliet, but it's possible someone else was dressed up as Juliet at some point later on in the evening, right? Because why has that been brought up so much? The fact that they were dressed up, having a battle to see who was stronger, Romeo or Juliet. It's just so far-fetched. Yeah, it could work as an initial setup for the case, and what exactly was going on, but I feel like there's more to it than that, simply because it's been brought up a few times. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. What? Oh man, there goes the jury again. Order! Order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond? Give me a second, I'm sleeping.
Mr. Naruhodo!
What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Hey, you're the one who said that crimes overlapping, usually there's something afoot. Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zeeks is saying? Raise an objection. Always raise an objection. You must. No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But, counsel, you've successfully explained everything. No, I haven't. I haven't explained how my client is not guilty, obviously. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shamspeare to consume gas. So that saves us a further trial date on that particular matter. What more is there to discuss? Lord Van Zeek's just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. But contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. Oh, I gotcha. Nice try. You're all fancy and confident, but in the end, I see through your sham. Are you Sham Van Zeeks now? But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witnesses to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider. Namely... Ooh. Okay, well, let's reconsider. Was someone else responsible? Responsible for what? Killing him? Or trying to kill him? Was there another visitor? There has to be another visitor. Was the poison in the tea? I'm pretty sure we've established that it was. Or did we say... there was poison detected in the tea, but they couldn't recover any. High likelihood the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking. No sample could be obtained for testing. Okay, so we've only assumed that it's in the tea. Okay, I'm going to start with, was there another visitor? Because there had to be another visitor to poison the tea, right? Sorry, that's court record. Let's go with this. What if the victim did in fact have another visitor besides Mr. Natsume? If that's your assertion, by all means tell us who it was. Yes, well... Well, who was this mysterious third party, Counsel? I think it's a little too soon to be naming names, my lord. On the contrary, it's a little too late. Much like your defense. Ah, okay, well, there we go. But we've shown so much. The situation has changed, I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamspeare was trying to make more ice coins on the night in question. Okay, sorry. Let's rephrase. Let's find something that we can that we can prove. I really feel like that's a clue here. That's pointing us towards something else. Namely, was someone else responsible? Was the poison in the tea? Was this it here? We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume. But that's conjecture at best. Objection! The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There is no other possibility. Well, I mean, we've also proved that he's a liar. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison. Objection! As I said, the situation has changed. Because, in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it. Objection! A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? Oh god. Oh man. Oh god, oh man. Oh boy. What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's think about this. Okay, revealing the history. We've got Mr. Shamspeare was trying to make more ice coins on the night in question. Right? And then we're mentioning the fact that Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. So I'm thinking he was trying to make more ice coins, so he was, I guess, using Mr. Natsume's tea? But why? Like, it wouldn't be frozen, though. And... why didn't he have water? I'm not quite sure. Let's present the teacups here. There's no tea ring on the inside of Mr. Natsume's cup. Maybe it got washed away by water?
Take that!
What exactly is this piece of evidence supposed to reveal about Mr. Natsume's tea, Counsel? Well, I suspect it may possibly be related to the tea in some small way. If we dig deep enough, then you will be digging for a long time indeed, my learned friend. Well, I don't think this was it. Oh. Even at the bottom of the deepest chasm, you will find no sense of that absurd assertion. Ah! Okay. Alright, okay. Ugh. Sometimes I wish I could disappear down a deep chasm to escape his deep sarcasm. Then I advise you to think more deeply before you answer again this time. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? The soap? Is there anything on it? I don't think it shows that there's any tea on it. Oh, shot in the dark. Why not? I've got 3 more lives left. Good gracious! The soup again! The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice? Okay. Well, looks like we're on the right track here, possibly. Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something out when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's
More bars of soap.
soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? Oh, right. He was trying to make it then, like, for the next day, I suppose. I still don't understand why he didn't have any water. Hang on, let's follow this line of questioning and see where we end up. I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. That's right, the medallion. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yeah. But there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice. There was something strange about them, you mean? Exactly. Something very obviously strange. They were red. That's right, they were red, weren't they? The ice was red? No. You mean... That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. Ugh. What? But I can't prove that the coins were red. I could have made this all up. I don't have any evidence. I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial.
That evening, yes. I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shakespeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water, especially to make it.
Oh, yes, of course. I forgot about the frozen pump.
And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never.
Ah, yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Shakespeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins. My word! He couldn't spin coins for one night. He had to scam all or nothing. There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene.
That's right, and we only borrowed one of them.
Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. Frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shakespeare's window. Extraordinary. Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even 1 drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poisoning. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture, since you guys love that word so much. Finally, time I turn the tables on you, by finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contains strychnine at all. Ah, you smug Nipponese. You're smugger than I am, sir. My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once, and the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Now I'll rest for tea time. Give us a recess, Your Honor. My lord. Bailiff, bailiff! Instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord, understood. There we go. Come on, give me the good news. Because they always analyze it so quickly. It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zeeks? None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. Ooh. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Yes, my lord. Further investigations. You love to see it. Whew. We survived. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow. With only 3 lives left. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. Thank you, my lord. Alright, let's figure this shit out proper.